After Noah and his family left the ark, God told them to multiply and fill the whole earth. People began to have children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and more families settled in different parts of the world. At first, everyone spoke the same language and understood each other easily. It was easy to collaborate and live together. However, people quickly forgot the hard lesson of the flood. Instead of remaining humble and obedient, they became proud and full of themselves again. Instead of scattering throughout the world, as God had told them, they all gathered in a beautiful and vast valley called Shinar. There, they decided to stay together and build something great. Come, let us build a great and strong city, in the middle of which we will raise a tower that reaches to the heavens, some of them said. This is how we will become famous. Everyone will know who we are, and we will no longer be scattered everywhere, others said. The people began to work with great determination. They had no stone, but they learned to make bricks from clay, which they burned well in the ovens to make them strong. Instead of mortar, they used sticky pitch. With them, they built thick walls, and floor after floor their tower rose to the sky. Day by day the work grew. It was a huge project, and the people were very proud of what they were doing. They had completely forgotten about God and believed that they could get anywhere and do anything without His help. But God was watching everything from heaven. He saw the hearts of the people, their thoughts, and the pride that was growing in them. The people no longer wanted to do His will, but wanted to build their own glory. That is why God said, "Behold, they are all one people, and they all speak the same language. That is why they can do whatever they set their minds to, even wrong things. I must stop them, otherwise their wickedness and pride will increase even more." Then God came down to earth and confused their languages. Until then, they had all spoken the same language, but suddenly they started speaking in different languages. No one understood anyone else. One man would shout, "Bring me a brick," but his colleague would bring him a hammer or a bucket of tar because he did not understand the words. Another would say, "Go up higher and build the wall," but the worker next to him would look at him in confusion and not understand anything. It was a big mess. Some would get angry, others would laugh in confusion, and others would leave, not knowing what to do. The work could not continue. The tower remained unfinished, and the people were forced to abandon their plans. Because they could no longer understand each other, the people began to scatter. Those who spoke the same language gathered in groups and went to different corners of the world. This is how people and nations were formed. Some ended up in Europe, others in Asia, Africa, or other places. Each people began to speak their own language and build their own culture. The city that they could not finish was called Babel, a word that means confusion or confusion, because there God confused the languages of the people. Since then, people have spoken different languages, and in order to understand each other, they have had to learn foreign languages. This story shows us that pride can lead to a downfall and that God wants people to be humble and obedient. He wants people to work together, not to glorify their own name, but to bring Him glory and gratitude. This is the story of the Tower of Babel, a place where people tried to reach heaven but forgot that God is above all. Even today, when we no longer understand each other, we must remember that only God can unite us through love, wisdom, and truth.